Do you need to dress up for Halloween if you're a parent? This has never been an issue before. Theodore turned 3 a few months ago, so until now I've just dressed him up as something cute. A carrot, then a lion, then an adorable fireman with a fuzzy helmet, and taken photos of him in the house. I don't want to be a boring parent who everyone thinks is snooty and above the joy of dressing up. I also don't want to be embarrassingly keen. Do all the other parents make an effort? Do any of them? Why does no one ever explain this stuff to you in advance? Beatrice, my only real friend at Theodore's nursery, said she would rather die than dress up in something flammable, but she works in investment banking and buys £2,000 handbags when she's had a bad day. So, I don't think she's necessarily a good indication of what the other mothers in this quiet part of South London will do. I'm eyeing up the costumes uneasily. Sexy witch? No. Sexy handmaid's tale handmaid? Will get me banned from the St. Joseph's Parent-Teacher Association for life. Sexy pumpkin? Nonsense. What would Phoebe do? She's the most sensible and pragmatic of my friends, with an uncanny ability to conjure up an easy answer to a problem, as if it had been there waiting for you all along. Phoebe would say to just wear black and throw on a witch hat. So that's what I decide to do. I suspect the results of Phoebe's daughter's trick-or-treating will be slightly more upmarket than the sweets we'll be collecting tonight. She lives in a terrifyingly expensive area of Battersea thanks to a huge inheritance from her father last year. He left her his 5-bedroom house with a massive garden, but, as she likes to joke, her Roman nose was a steep price to pay. Looking down at my watch, I realise I'm running late for pickup again. I take the hat and leg it to the nursery. I'm charged £20 per 5 minutes that I'm late, a rate so extortionate I'm tempted to set up my own nursery, because it must be the highest legal interest rate in the country. I do the rushed, hi, hello, yes, I know, late again, despite working from home a lot. Yes, I am disorganised. Funny, hilarious, such humour. Interaction with the other mothers as I throw myself through the door and pick up a forlorn Theodore. Mummy was late again. He sighs. Sorry, darling. I was buying a witch hat for tomorrow. His face lights up. The power of distraction. Halloween has suddenly flipped from being a thing he had a remote understanding of last year to being the most exciting event imaginable. At least until Christmas. This is what I always imagined being a parent would be like. My parents died when I was 10 and I don't have any siblings, so babyhood was an unpleasant series of surprises. I'm how tired? He's getting sick how often? I feel this lonely? Halloween, Christmas, and birthdays are safe spaces in which my dreams of being a perfect, Pinterest mother can be briefly indulged. We bundle in the door from the cold, and I dive straight into cooking. I've been trying to feed him before Anthony gets home, and the chaos of seeing his father leaves vegetables and the appeal of eating forgotten on a sad-looking plate. The negotiations required to ensure a 3-year-old eats a reasonably balanced diet know no bounds, and tonight's are particularly excruciating. 1 more pea, and then you can have 2 more pieces of pasta. 5 peas, and then you can watch a movie on Saturday. Anthony arrives home just as Theodore has trudged up the stairs, weary of the requirement to bathe before bed yet again. He's still on the phone finishing up a work call as he walks in the door. He looks tired and worn. We need a holiday. Now that we're in our mid-30s, I seem to say that every fortnight, even when we've just had a holiday. Anthony is finally off the call. Something to do with blockchains and other indecipherable words that mean nothing to me. After a decade of marriage, I've happily moved from feeling guilty about my lack of understanding about my husband's work to being merrily ignorant. If an in-depth understanding of your spouse's job was a requirement for a long-lasting and happy marriage, no one would stay married. Besides, Anthony could no more name one of my most recent published papers than I could write a script in Java, a word which never fails to make me think of body lotion before it leads my mind to programming.